to, you know, take pretty much whatever you want. And so I think we're in an interesting game state that's kind of the logical conclusion of kind of, I'll call it like the mobility and gold creep, but with more heroes having access to, you know, mobility, to items, to whatever you want to, you know, think about, pretty much across the board, heroes have become better and become richer. And, you know, as a carry player, makes me somewhat sad because it takes away from, you know, the carry power late in the game. And I think we are starting to see that even through Pro Dota, where the carry feels like it's never really the strongest hero on the map, or at least it's a lot harder to get there. Anyway, looks like the lobby is finally set through. We took about 3 tries to get in there, but draft is on. And now we will be able to go ahead forward. So this is actually the first game that we're covering for University of Toronto versus IE. Unfortunately, you had to hear me kind of lecture about the meta because I don't have any stats pulled up for these teams. One of the downsides to not having the ticket for week number 1 means that league stats simply do not exist for week number 1. What I do know about University of Toronto is they played a really exciting series against Seneca, one of the teams that's new to this league, Seneca Esports, and I couldn't watch it. I was so sad. I had the replays sent to me, so if you've never tried to cast off the replay, non-ticketed matches, you can't download the replay. They're not publicly available. They don't exist. But what you can do is, if someone who played in the match goes and downloads the local version of the replay, they can send it to you, and you can basically manually install it into your replays folder and load it from there, and it'll load up like you played in the replay. And week 1, they sent this to me, and I'm not going to cast it, so it's not really spoilers, but they had like a 70-minute game 2. The series went all 3 games. It was like a 3.5-hour series. Super exciting. I didn't actually know who won when I was getting these replays. I didn't spoil myself. University of Toronto Benchwarmers did actually end up winning that series 2-1. But then they released the update for the Chinese New Year treasure, and with it they released a cosmetic for the Ancient that had a dragon on it, and it gave the Ancient a new cosmetic slot, which actually ended up breaking all replays from pre-patch. So you could load up the replay, it would last about 6 seconds, and then it would crash. So I went to load up the replays to go cast it, just to like test that I installed the replays accurately before I turned on the stream to cast the replay. I was going to do that last Monday night, I believe. Loaded up the replays, was super excited. It was going to be awesome games to watch, and they don't exist. You can't see them. Oh, it's a killer. I mean, it's so rough. Because I love doing series like that. If you've listened to me cast games, you've always heard me say after game 1 that I'm always rooting for a game 3. It is the most exciting possible way to get through these leagues, is to have a game 3 every time. And unfortunately, you know, more often than not, it might not happen. But those series where they go to 3 games, where they're close, they're always super exciting, and it always feels like game 3 can go either way.
Ten seconds remaining.
And then University of Illinois, they actually lost their week 1 series 2-1. They did take 1 game as well, so they lost that one to University of Michigan. And unfortunately, I don't have any more stats than that. But last season, I was one of the middle of the pack teams. They, I think I actually cast somewhat of a significant, somewhat significant number of their games.
Radiant team pick.
But in the West Coast, they only had 5 regular season games, and unfortunately just ended up missing the playoffs. So call them like a middle of the pack team, and they were in the tiebreakers, if I'm not mistaken, for that last playoff spot. and unfortunately got edged out by
5 seconds
UCLA,
remaining.
I believe, based on their overall tiebreakers. I think based on their head-to-head eventually is what eliminated them. But IE, definitely a fun team to watch. They did take a game off of UBC, who ended up being the overall #1 team in the entire league last season. So a competitive team, and not any team to be counted out before the game even starts. Now, University of
10
Toronto
seconds remaining.
going to be completely new to playing in these West Coast or West Central games.
5 seconds remaining.
This being their basically B squad. I'm not actually sure, and I'll have to reach out and talk to them if they're available after the game. Maybe the question that we'll have to ask is if this truly is a B team or how they split up their team, because it seems to me like they have two strong teams. They took their main team and they split it into two strong teams. They didn't just take the 5 worst players, I'll call it, and put them onto the B team like some schools would. But back to the main point, they're going to be new to the West Coast division, Toronto being traditionally in the East Coast, but splitting their team. They ended up with one team in each division. So going to be some new styles of play, some new faces that they haven't seen, and some new faces for the West Coast guys to get used to. So looking into this draft, University of Toronto looks like they're going to be taking the Chaos Knight to the safe lane, Death Prophet. Most likely going to be your offlaner. We've seen this hero picked up in the offlane a lot recently, and it's pretty strong. You end up with a nice ball timing with the Exorcism, can take down the safe lane tower. And then you can just go the power items now. You get a Shivas, you get a Mage Slayer, whatever. You get a Yules, and do Death Prophet things. You get a BKB, run in with Exorcism. I mean, kind of is a natural move for Death Prophet to be in the offlane. Only thing you can suffer with a little bit is, you have to be careful with your mana playing this hero in the offlane, because you're not getting a bottle like a traditional mid laner would. Maybe you go Arcane Boots. But I think it does feel very natural to play Death Prophet in the offlane, and you kind of do check all of those boxes that an Aura Carrier offlane would do, and you also can apply some very, very significant tower pressure. On the other side, Dawnbreaker, or IE Dawnbreaker, I should say, gone with the Magnus along with the Winter Wyvern. So, looking at this 4th pick, they're going to take now with Lifestealer. They've left their options open a little bit. Winter Wyvern, another one of those heroes that's really been popular in the offlane nowadays, but Magnus, potential to go there as well and have Wyvern Hoodwink as support, so going to open themselves up to a couple of different directions of play. Could always throw Magnus in the mid and Wyvern offlane, or, could pick up a hero for pretty much any role they want going forward. So before we get into the game, I'm going to take a quick break. Unfortunately, you're going to have to watch the last couple picks without me, most likely, and be back for the start of the game.
Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Puck. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Choose your hero.
Alright, I said I'd be back for the start of the game. Ended up being pretty perfect timing. Puck gonna be the last pick for IE, and then sat down just in time to see the Night Stalker grabbed up, and looks like it'll be taken to the off lane. Death Prophet headed towards the mid. Now, okay. Chickerinaham. I feel like there was a good stat about him, but I'm immediately getting him mixed up with one of the Georgia Tech players, so the stat's not accurate, so I'm gonna go ahead and not share that one. I'll save it for the Georgia Tech series. And then I'll have some stats. I need to get some like little tidbits on each player, honestly. I think that'd be super fun. It's just so hard to coordinate with people to get all those like little insights. But one of the things that I didn't know, okay, this is going to be going back to last series, and it's the wrong time for it, being in game here. But I did not know that DNM was coaching, at least in some capacity, USF. That's super cool. DNM, tier 2 NA player. I'd imagine he's still hanging around the scene. We're just a little bit awkward of a position with, you know, tier 2 NA Dota right now. There's not a lot of tournaments that exist for tier 2. I really wish they kept the DPC together. I think it was really, really good for the tier 2 players, especially in a region like NA where there's not a lot of money to be made because it's so hard to make a living playing games in the States.
Prepare for battle.
And there's not a lot of like sponsorship or ad money kind of residually existing around the league now that the COVID bubble for gaming is a bit over. So
wonderful.
We'll have to hope that tier 2 Dota can really make a resurgence. And I'm gonna try and stay informed to just, you know, spread my time a little bit thin. I've totally stopped watching the qualifiers, which makes me feel a little bit dumb sometimes when I'm casting Dota. I feel a little bit out of the loop when I, you know, don't play or watch pro games in like 3 days. That's all it takes for me to feel out of the loop. Anyway, hopefully a lot of these names are familiar faces for people. There's a couple that are maybe new. I don't recognize this Surges or Sayum. But everyone else, less than 3, Chickum and Woos. I actually don't know if I know Woos either.
Personality.
I think he might have subbed in maybe one game last semester, but I'm not terribly sure. On the other side of the river, a lot more familiar faces. AMA player, Milnilkle, Dart Frog. Saw a lot of their games last season. And then we have John and JOJ. And that's actually another question. I'd love to throw it in the chat, and I know I can't respond, but I'd love to see your guys' opinions on whether, you know, video game players, esports, whatever you want to call them, gamers, should go by screen names or like real names in a format like this in collegiate Dota, where, you know, depending on how hard you want to look, names are publicly accessible. But I feel like to some extent, you know, when you're in college, you are the person behind the screen. That does apply somewhat to like professional, like true professional as well, but I don't know. It's an interesting question for me because I kind of get both sides. The tradition of going by your screen name or your gamer tag, but also, I don't know. Makes sense to have your name. You can put it on a jersey. Anyway, in this mid lane, DP versus the Puck. Should be a relatively even lane. Puck totally fine here, and DP, once you get to, you know, level 3, you pretty much just nuke out the wave, and both heroes should be getting fine farm here, less than 3. A little bit of an early edge, but nothing too egregious. Take a look around the horn at our side lanes. We have Lifestealer farming up against the Night Stalker, and Night Stalker should be relatively happy for the first, you know, level or two, but Lifestealer, once he gets some points in the open wounds, not the open wounds, in the Ghoul Frenzy, can never remember what that spell's called. During the daytime, Night Stalker can become a little bit weak. And this lane gonna end up coming down to who's able to put more early harass on, so if Lifestealer is playing from an HP deficit, he won't be able to be super aggressive, but vice versa, if he's allowed to be healthy in this lane, can start to just run down Night Stalker. Down, taking a look at the bot lane. Now this one has the potential to be a lot more active. Chaos Knight and Techies have the potential to go for kills onto Hoodwink, and vice versa, Mill. See him going forward. It's going to have the skewer available as well. Not able to catch up to Woos, but now he's going to try and skew him forward underneath the tower. Another click, the Bushwhack comes through. There's your first blood, and Chickham did his best with the blast off to try and hold him back, but not able to do enough, and couldn't cancel out the skewer forward. So the stretched IE logo. And something like these logos didn't come through last series, but they're coming through now, so I don't really understand what went wrong. I'd love to take a peek under the hood at the last series teams to see why they didn't get them. Lotus, nice Bushwhack comes out from AMA player, gonna secure that one. Just the better stun over there on the Hoodwink, so always gonna get the Lotus. And Sayum ends up getting the Lotus up on the top side, so they'll go 1 for 1 to the off lane side. The Lotus is here at 3 minutes. Taking a look over at less than 3, loses the Siphon. But pretty happy. 6 denies here in the mid lane. This time going to be able to connect forward onto the Siphon. He's level 2 as well, so dealing some pretty significant damage to Puck. Another deny on the range creep, and less than 3. Going to be more than happy with being able to snag that one. Nice dodge coming through, and that's what Puck's going to be able to do in this lane, just dodge the nuke damage, and as I said, that's why we expect just some trade farm to come out. Sayum, though, going to rotate down for the water rune, so Puck not going to have a bottle refill available for him. Had the ward, so knew it happened, and orbs to the bot side, hoping it's still there, but less than 3 he's got in his bottle, and with the level 5 up, he's got a little bit of a level advantage. Just going to nuke down the wave faster. An earlier to 6 on the Death Prophet could be pretty significant. Blast off. Off the mark. But earlier to 6 on Death Prophet could be pretty significant in the mid, as the tower could just get run down, and Wyvern not the best support to rotate through. The Hoodwink could for some kill potential onto the Death Prophet if he does get over ambitious with the Exorcism. Not able to dodge that blast. For now, the side lane's relatively quiet. 5 minutes pops up, and with that, it's going to be the first nighttime. We will head up top and see if there's anything worth following, as it looks like the Blood Grenade dropped out, and Gold Dart Frog might be just caught out here. Going to try with the Cold Embrace and run his way through the lane, but eventually will be caught up too and run down the Fairy Fire pop, but it's just going to give Night Stalker the kill, so Surges gets on the board. Not sure if Surges is a new player from last season, or if he did actually play last season. Unfortunately, maybe something we'll figure out as time goes, but if he is new to the team, then at least it's the first kill that I'm broadcasting. How about we say that, because he played last week, I'm certain. Just don't have stats for it. Called his first recorded kill of the season. 6-minute rune spawning. JOJ went for the 50-50, not going to find it. Instead, the arcane rune down bottom for less than 3. Puck would have loved that to try and catch back up in this lane. Unfortunately, less than 3 gonna continue to be ahead. And up top again, Night Stalker, this first nighttime, they're gonna find the rotation from Chicken. Unfortunately, gonna be off the mark with the blast off, and Goldart Frog able to get off the Cold Embrace. Healing up, still gonna be in some trouble, but Sam getting run down all the while. Has the wand, trying to heal. Sam, nuke behind, and gonna have the Acorn shot to finish him off. So 1 for 1 on the support, as rotation from each side gonna come through.
I know to handle such power. Thank you, my beauties.
So 2-2. This Woo's on the bot side. 2 points in the cast strike. Does have a big wand, but has to be a little bit careful. Gonna pull him back. Nil. Now maybe in some trouble himself. Gets crit. Trying to juke his way through the trees. 3 stick of his own, but no skewer for 6 seconds. Now gonna show 1 more wand. 1 more right click, gonna do it to blast off. Yeah, this time it's gonna be on the mark. And up top, the rotation with the exorcism during the arcane rune as well. Finds a double kill for less than 3 up top. So making excellent work of the arcane rune. Gonna get full value out of the exorcism as well, as tower damage gonna start to be applied up top as well.
Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's middle
Glyph
tower
gonna come
is
through,
under
but less than
attack.
3.
Dire's
TP back
top
to the mid
is
lane.
under attack.
Wisdom runes did end up going 1 for 1 in the midst of those kills. Down bottom, Nil with the charge underneath the tower. Skewer forward finds him. Still is nighttime, and the rotation has come through from Puck as well. Looking for Chicken, gonna pop that coil and does go down. Nil on the side now. Just gonna be able to turn and run as the TP in from Surges. Not gonna be enough against 4 heroes down here from the side of IE. Thinking about sticking around though. It's JOJ. Heads back to the mid. They are gonna TP the Chaos Knight back in here, so Woo's looking to stay involved. Chicken as well gonna make the TP, so the stun comes out. AMA player in a bit of trouble. Gonna be crippling feared up eventually. It's actually not level. Not gonna matter, as Bushwhack not gonna save him. And Goldart Frog underneath the tower. Cold Embrace not gonna come through. Less than 3 eventually did make the rotation. He'll be more than happy to snag that kill off the backside.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And yeah, I'm just gonna pop the exorcism down here less than 3. They'll look to take the bottom tower. Meanwhile, JOJ making the rotation up towards top. It looks like bot's gonna be where things kick off. Actually gonna TP down here on Puck as well. Less than 3, completely out of mana. RP gonna be dropped. This is during the exorcism though. Super awkward fighting into Toronto, but it's during their strength. Still trying to put up the damage. Coil gonna be dropped. It's the full 5-man team down here for Illinois. But they're not gonna find it.
Tower has fallen.
Oh my goodness, IE. Just able to make the rotations and find the kills, but super Knife's Edge gaming there, as everyone was so low. But University of Toronto gonna lose 2 heroes instead. Really just pushing their limits on IE. Stream gonna be snatched up by the techies, and now JOJ in a little bit of trouble. This time gonna be caught by the Crippling Fear, just taking it level 7 there for Surges. Into the mid they go, wanting to put some pressure onto this mid tower now. It's less than 3.
Dire's middle tower.
They're gonna collapse onto Goldart Frog here. This time the Wyvern not gonna be very happy as he'll go down.
It did not take a perfect.
And Surges track down to Hoodwink over across to the side. The nighttime gonna run out, but the slow punch comes through. And with 3 heroes dead in the mid lane, it's gonna be time to push the tower. Chicken with the mines,
Is under attack.
able to provide some extra tower damage.
Are fortified.
Puck making the TP in. Has Dream Coil available, but no friends here. Gonna make the TP on Wyvern as well. Not level 6 yet, so no Winter's Curse. But it will be enough to dissuade University of Toronto from continuing in their assault. Take a look over at the carries. It's been a little bit brawly, so we've been neglecting them perhaps a bit. Chaos Knight headed towards a Mage Slayer, actually the poorest on his team, as Toronto's been finding significant success in these fights. And over on the other side, Lifestealer also starting to fall behind a little bit and still working towards an armlet, so gonna be a ways to go before John can really come back into this game. And Lifestealer, armlet does end up being a substantial farming item, but most likely he'll want to go into some kind of Maelstrom or other farming item after the fact as well. I believe that's the most common and popular build nowadays, is armlet into Maelstrom. 12-minute runes spawn up, and double damage gonna be collected. Check him. Wanted to jump on the rune spot, and he might just die for that one. Will go down less than 3. Trying to run over, but won't make it in time. Still with the amplified damage nowadays, giving I guess you can't see it here, but the amp damage gives spell damage nowadays, so significantly stronger on the Death Prophet than it once was. I can use this to really burn down some towers, or you know, take a team fight with a super strong exorcism. I think it's one thing that gets slept on with the amp damage rune changes. You will just pop it to have the right clicks to click down this tower, and Puck going for the deny, not gonna find it. Still an Arctic Burn, actually. Is Rubik gonna take Phase Shift instead? Not exactly the spell he was looking for at this stage of the game, but he will live to steal again. 10-7 here, 13 minutes in, and University of Toronto starting to carve out a small lead. Have the Exorcism available, and wanted to make a move happen as they smoke down towards the bot side. John just on the edge of that. Ended up breaking the smoke, but gonna get away underneath this tier 1 tower. But Exorcism gonna be popped to make sure that this bot tower goes down. Second Exo used on the bot tower, but less than 3. He's got bigger ideas. They want to try and fight for this Wisdom Rune. It's very deep, and we see this counter flank coming from IE under smoke of their own, but Surge is in really good position, just not able to break the smoke. Gold Art Frog, he doesn't want to run up that hill. There's mines there. They're going to see him and force back University of Toronto, and it looks like might just be the end of it. Puck, he actually jumps forward, takes a lot of damage off the mines, now trying to run away, but going to get caught by the Silence. Mildo with the Blink RP. It's going to have the skewer back, it's going to pop the coil and catch them into the Winter's Curse, but not able to take down the damage because of the RP stun. Check him, jumps forward underneath the tier 2 tower, but straight onto MA player, who goes down as well, and there's nothing more in the tank for IE. They used all the spells, they used all the ults, they didn't have the damage, and now just have to run underneath the tier 2 tower, and it's not going to matter, as Surge is more than willing to tank that one up to find another kill. So 3 kills for IE into the 14-minute mark. And it was John who picked up the Wisdom Rune. So Lifestealer at least getting that one, but Toronto absolutely flexing their in-game might at the moment. So yeah, John down to just 5,000 net worth here 15 minutes in. A couple thousand behind the pace set by University of Toronto, and Toronto just continuing to play up in the enemy triangle.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know what the enemy triangle is, but it certainly isn't anything that I want to know about. But things starting to look a little bit rough. IE here gonna need to fight their way back into this game, and we've seen just a couple of times JOJ get caught out by the crippling fear, and Night Stalker just able to stick on top of him. Hard to play one of these elusive heroes like Puck into the long duration silence Night Stalker can apply to you. Still, we'll be working on the blink, and that'll make things much different in terms of his survivability. And Milno with the blink, the RP coming up in 15 seconds, so he's going to be the key player to watch for in these next couple of fights for IE. AMA player, that's a very nice ward, the lane ward. Unfortunately, smoked up on the side were University of Toronto. So the ward not able to spot him out, but these lane wards just very undervalued, in my opinion. Let's see, less than 3. Is Courier coming out? Is this the Shivas finished off? And yes, it is. Gonna get whacked by the ogre.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Milnil runs into him. That's not the hero you want to see. Shiva's not able to connect. Milnil gets the blink away. Surges. Oh, look at that. Blink of his own is on top of the Midas that he picked up earlier. So he's just looking to sit on top of the puck for as long as it takes to get the kills. And now Wu's Mage Slayer going for the Orchid next. We've seen this idea on Chaos Knight in the past, the early Orchid. You can basically just use Phantasm to farm continuously, and then once you do get this Orchid, you're totally in fighting shape. Combines very nicely against the puck as well, and natural item to get is AMA player behind the tower just going to be jumped down. Exo was committed again for this bot side tower.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Milnil wants to go in towards the mid, but Wu's going to make the TP to defend it. Still not a single tower taken for IE. Milnil blinks forward, trying to take down the tower. He needs another click, but the glyph, it's going to come through, now trying to charge away. Gold Art Frog, yeah, he's stuck out in the middle of all 5 TPing heroes. And Milnil will eventually be cleaned up by the Stolen Skewer as well from Sayum. Less than 3 actually canceled the TP on the backside. JOJ trying to find the catch-up. The Bushwhack not going to be on the mark, but the coil is going to snap. Still, do they have the damage to take him down? John trying to get involved in this one, but less than 3. You can just see he's taking no damage. John doesn't have it in the tank, just the armlet to his name. And now JOJ silenced up, trying to run away. He's going to be able to get the orb over to the side, but straight towards Surges. Now cleaned up on the backside. AMA player goes down. JOJ going to get punched in the face. And Wyvern TPing in, wanted to help out, and TPing straight into the grave. Now 3 heroes on the bot side. They're here to finish this tower they started.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
18.5 minutes in. And University of Toronto Benchwarmers, well, they're looking like a team to beat. JOJ. Blink Dagger was completed, but you can just see how far back they have to play. All the way up underneath the tier 3, otherwise this is what's going to happen. Winter's Curse going to be dropped, trying to save the Hoodlink, but still going to go down. They are going to end up trading out 4 Surges. That's a godlike spree they're able to take away, and Chickham goes down as well, so signs of life for IE. They're able to pick off a couple of kills underneath their tier 2 tower. It looks like that's going to be all they have to settle for. As really, for now, they are lacking in the damage front. John headed towards a Radiance, and so hard to farm this one up while you're behind, but finally is able to pick up that Relic, and Radiance will allow him to fight later on into this game, and good against the CK and the Illusions as well, providing that mischance is pretty significant against the Chaos Knight. Also going to help deal with the early blink on Night Stalker once the Radiance does come through. So it looks like he is going to be able to get to that item and try and climb back into this game. But it looks like University of Toronto, they're done messing around. They want to head into the Roche Pit. They're going to use the Phantasm to get it as well. Scan immediately going to connect for IE. But not sure they're really going to be in a position to get over here. Yeah, Milnil pretty low as well, so just going to have to back off from the bot side as Roshan. It was very slow to take this Roche, actually, and Wu's taking the brunt of the damage. He actually can't tank this one himself. So a little bit awkward. Make sure you don't get slammed down here. I.e. maybe regretting not contesting this. It's taken so long. But in the meantime, the net worth lead swung all the way down to 6,000. As it was a significant amount of time that Toronto had to spend, had to commit to take down that Roshan. So now we're going to need to prove that they can put that Aegis to good use. Immediately, they all take the gate up top. They want to head down and force this top tier 2 tower down.
With a charming personality.
This one should be pretty free for him as well. No real need to contest this one if you're IE. Love to see Illinois a little bit more spread out on the map, but for now they are kind of just hanging around. But the Exorcism committed for the tier 2, so most likely gonna dissuade them from making any attempt at the high ground for now, which at 22 minutes is not an unreasonable ask not to go high ground. Instead, just gonna stay disciplined, keep the positioning behind less than 3, make sure they're able to get the tower, and then TP out across the map. See lots of lines getting drawn, an AMA player almost incidentally runs into them. But instead looks like Illinois gonna group up together, see if they want to make something happen or what the idea is. John did finish the Radiance in the meantime, and you can see his net worth. I mean, he's caught up. He's closing in on these top net worth players. Same with Puck, where before there was a significant difference. Now we see most of the net worth difference being on the supports. Magnus, somehow the same farm as Rubik, and it's not because Magnus is extremely poor. Rubik is just wealthy. 8,600 gold. He's 3-1 and 9 on Rubik. IE supports are set up behind this tower, trying to clear out the wave with the Acorn shot, with the Splinter Blast. It's pretty annoying to push into for Toronto, but they do have the Phantasms here, so Woo's ready to tank up the tower a little bit, actually taking a few too many tower shots. And his Courier goes down as well. Milnil able to snipe a couple of those. And that I've talked about this before in previous games, but I mean, those are 90 gold per player per Courier. That's a 900 gold swing, by the way, for 2 Couriers, as well as delaying the items from coming out. So Woos is effectively playing behind in net worth the Lifestealer at the moment, which is not an idea that I thought we'd be saying anytime soon, as John, 5 minutes ago was really broke. Gonna rage TP and get out of dodge. Orchid gonna come through onto Milnil, but Milnil setting up to be able to skewer back to the base. He's actually gonna drag Chaos Knight up to the high ground, and Toronto, this is not exactly where you want to be, or is it? They're gonna pop the Exorcism, but immediately caught out by the Winter's Curse. RP over on the side onto Chaos Knight, dragging him outside of the curse. So Aegis gonna be popped in less than 3. He's low, they can take him down here, and he will just go down. JOJ with the silence, able to take him. That's 2 quick kills, and the Skewer gonna cancel Wu's TP. He's on the high ground, he's left alone. His support's got the hell out of there, and well, that's 3 kills and an Aegis for IE. Milnil just looking to Skewer, looking to get back up on the high ground. Well, they got way more than they asked for out of that fight. It's gonna swing it all the way to an even game in terms of the gold lead. Bushwhack even gonna connect onto Sayum for potential freebie to Skewer away, gonna buy him some space, but you're playing against a Puck, he's always gonna be able to catch up. Oh my goodness, another extra kill on the end. And all of a sudden, we've got a game on our hands. All it takes is 1 throw up on the high ground, and not your traditional high ground throw, but they'll take it regardless on Illinois. And yeah, all of a sudden the top 2 cores belonging to Illinois as well.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Chickem's got some big lotuses on his inventory, by the way. I really hope he's not saving up for the block of cheese. Had players do it in the past. Don't do it, Chickem. That 900 HP, it's good. And you don't even get cheese during the daytime anymore, so extra not worth it. Milno now, we talked about him being poor, but Blink Harpoon, pretty online. Oop, up top, AMA player. Zap down. Looks like he may have got caught by some mines or something. I don't know how he was so low. Yeah, caught by some mines. And the Fade Bolt to finish him off. Sam steals off the Splinter Blast. Just gonna clear up some creeps, and Illinois still a little bit in that mindset of being behind, so they're turtling up on the high ground now, maybe giving Toronto a little bit too much respect, because they're just gonna continue bashing down the towers that they started some minutes ago.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Still, with a couple of lanes pushing in, they've been able to keep up relatively well in the farm. So I'm gonna pop a mine down here, so quick rage TP.
Dire are
Not gonna be able to cancel that one.
Radiant are scanning.
And the smoke gonna come out from Illinois to try and connect down towards where their Lifestealer TP'd away from. And this is the real lose. Guys, you found him. Not expecting the real carry to be so isolated from his team, so it's going to take a little while for them to decide to make the jump. Milmil eventually does get interrupted during the skewer, but they find the kill onto Wu's first off. On the backside, Surge is trying to do what he can, make the best of the situation, but this crippling fear is going to run out. John chasing him over to the side. The Exorcism drop in less than 3, taking on the team 1v3. Milnil, RP gets interrupted by the silence. The skewer stolen by Rubik, gonna miss, and on the backside, the Winter's Curse, it's not quite gonna take down the Night Stalker. Surge is gonna live, and Gold Art Frog does end up going down, so an ugly, ugly engagement, kind of for both sides, but 2 kills already, and Surge has found the silence out onto Puck. Puck in a lot of trouble here, and JOJ ends up being the 3rd casualty. Milnil, RP still available, gonna skewer back towards the fountain and find one more kill onto Surges, so kinda after that fight wrapped up, we see 1 kill going each way as the engagement comes to a less than abrupt end. And super awkward there. I mean, it's totally understandable from Illinois' side. They didn't have vision of the area, so when the smoke pops on the enemy carry, first thing you're wondering is where's the rest of the team? They must be sat right behind him. Don't make the jump initially, and then by the time they decide, hey wait, this guy might be alone, well, the rest of the team has kind of fallen in behind University of Toronto. For University of Toronto, I should say. And be able to interrupt the initiation. Ooh, words are tough. Milnil not able to get off a good RP. You can see him working towards that BKB now because playing into a couple of silences, including the Bloodthorn from the Chaos Knight. He's gonna run forward. They're gonna run into AMA player. Check him. Off the mark with the mine. He's building towards an Aghanim Scepter over on the Techies. And BKB completed for John, so Lifestealer as well, recognizing the need, have these BKBs to get out of the silence. It's going to be how they are able to turn these fights around, is making sure he gets the rage off. I love what he's doing, turning off the Radiance every time they go for a play. It's not a super high level play, but it's something that's important that a lot of players it can just slip their mind. And Gold Art Frog with the Mage Slayer Force Staff and working on a Blink Dagger as well.
Scanning.
So he's going to be looking to get into some items, and clicked on AMA player's inventory a couple of times, and I didn't like what I saw, so I haven't really brought it up until now. But now that we have more of a real game, I can clown on this maybe a little bit less. But Maelstrom into Chrysalis, an AMA player under no delusions that he's going to be doing any saving this game. He's just looking to do pure damage on the back end, and it's kind of amazing to me that he's not the one that ended up with the Mage Slayer. Gold Art Frog, the one purchasing the Mage Slayer, but it's so natural on Hoodwink with the Acorn Shot. Looking on the other side of the river. Roshan did just spawn up, and University of Toronto were ready for it. Silence on Roche, but will eventually end up roaring. Still, I think by the time Roche roars, generally you're going to be too late to contest if you're not in the area. Illinois do agree with me there, as they're simply on the wrong half of the map to get down here and make a play. So the Roshan's banner are going to be dropped. This item's super funny. The fact that it has global cast range just feels so weird to me. Like, everyone puts it in lane right next to him, but you can put it up at your own melee barracks if you want. Like, you can just cast it. So wonky. Especially because it's a flag. You'd think you'd have to like plant the flag, right? What's the use is called place banner? Yeah, you'd think you'd have to, you know, physically place the banner. Surges came through the gate up here on top of the ward from Illinois, and they know he's alone here. You can see if smoked enemies are coming through, if more people are channeling, but Surge is able to get back to his own triangle to safety. Same. Ethereal Blade picked up. Maybe starting to play a little bit of the waiting game, but Illinois thinking about maybe going forward. They've got the smoke out onto Wyvern and Mill now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But still no BKB up on Magnus, so
Tower is under attack.
not the easiest for him to make sure he gets these RPs off. And even though they're working on the tier 1 up top, they are going to be forced to TP back on Illinois' side to defend the high ground. So Toronto successfully drawing the entire Illinois team back. We're making the only play they can, and they smoke up inside of the base. Try and get out. Gonna head over towards the Tormentor, actually. And a good job from Toronto there, recognizing the entire enemy team backs off. They're just gonna go ahead, split up, farm the map while Illinois is stuck, kind of condensed in one area. And it's exactly what you want to be doing in this situation. There's no need to force the high ground when you're, you know, just 2k advantaged. It's, you know, still, I mean, it's 35 minutes, but you're not ahead enough to just run up the high ground even with the Aegis. So instead, using the threat of taking the high ground to just accelerate your own farm. JOJ caught out. But Chickum, just a little bit of an empty threat on that jump. Less than 3, was walking up towards the high ground, but again, can't really commit the exorcism. So just gonna have to wait it out some more. Smoke comes out from a couple of Toronto heroes, and they're gonna find the Hoodwink. But AMA player able to escape back up to the high ground. Don't want to overcommit on Toronto. Lose. Has the Blink Dagger picked up. Not sure if we've actually clicked on his inventory since they've taken it. But the Blink definitely going to be Toronto's way in. The Blink on Chaos Knight specifically going to be their way into the fight, I believe. I don't like just forcing the high ground with the exorcism like this. I really think you can have some issues here. I think you have to get in with Chaos Knight. This is just super committal. You're able to, yeah, just like this, you're skewered underneath the tower, looking for the blinks, but it's just so far away. F-Blade not going to save, and they're going to find the Winter's Curse. It's just going to hold in one. But the Coil is still dropped on the front. The Silence, it's not going to do enough. They're going to find the RP just on Tisseum. A little bit awkward there, but 2 heroes down. JOJ looking to go forward, but the Bloodthorn comes out. There's no Purge for Puck. JOJ falling low, gets caught by the Chaos Bolt. 3 seconds going to go down. Able to get the phase shift off just on the edge of the Silence there from Surges. So going to escape with his life, and Chickham did get run down up on the top by John and AMA Player. The dynamic duo finding the extension kill. So that's 3 kills. 4K net worth swing on the back of that fight, and yeah, just an awkward force up the high ground. And it's understandable, too, from University of Toronto. They want to get up, they have the Aegis, they feel strong, and they're sitting outside the base. They feel like they're not getting anything out of the map, and the IE are still able to farm as fast as they are, even though they're really holding on to, 70-80% of the map. So they feel like they have to do something. It's just not the fight that you want to take. And meanwhile, Illinois really do scale into the late game. Puck with the phase shift damage, with the Charisma. This thing is just like, gives you stupid amounts of damage on Puck. Has the full BKB completed for himself as well, so JOJ. The threat of him dying to one random Night Stalker Silence is all but over. Milnil gonna have it coming out as well, holding on to buyback for now. He gets himself a ninja gear as well, so always gonna be able to set up into these fights. He's gonna be pretty happy about that item. Sam walks up onto the high ground. They've got the Observer Ward scouting things out for Illinois. Surges really does feel like he's fallen off the pace. Want to see a BKB onto your Night Stalker, and we've seen him have a little bit of trouble sticking on heroes in these fights. As can get clicked down, can be taking significant damage. I don't want to do it, but I feel like we've got to do it. Let's go check out our Hoodwink. Our baby Hoodwink is all grown up with a full Daedalus. Gonna work towards a Hurricane Pike as well. So even more damage gonna be pumped out from the backside of these fights. Not just Puck you gotta worry about anymore. And John, top net worth. He's gone full defensive, BKB, and the Manta. But he's still able to do enough damage in these fights. 4-1 and 7 with the Empower. I mean, it's a big boost. And the next item is really the kill item. He's looking for the Skull Basher. I'm still surprised he didn't go into the Maelstrom Mjolnir pickup. I think that's generally the way you'd play around the CK, but it's worked out for him this game. As the Radiant's Mischance equally annoying to deal with. Toronto gonna show Surges and Rubik over here. That Dream Coil gonna be dropped out, thinking about committing the RP, but actually gonna be cancelled off. Trying to break the coil with the Harpoon, not able to get enough distance, but still gonna find the kill as they're just light years away from the rest of the Toronto squad. Sam able to escape with the Blink Dagger. And Chicken, we haven't seen him use this item yet, but the Aghanim Scepter was completed on the backside.
Dire are scanning.
See, saw the smoke came through from Illinois, but Toronto playing pretty deep on the enemy half still, even without Night Stalker alive. But the double damage rune spawning top, less than 3. He's going to be caught out for this one. Lincoln Spear, able to dodge out the Winter's Curse, but AMA player from the backside going to be looking for him. The Bushwhack, it is going to connect, and now John, he's in with the Rage. He's in with the right click. Oh, they're going to repeat Illusion! Oh no! Are they still going to be able to find less than 3 at least on the side? The Spirit Siphon's healing him up for a long, long time. Wyvern goes down on the backside, but you're still fighting with no Night Stalker. They're going to find woos on the back, and now you're going to find less than 3 as well. The supports were looking for damage on the tier 3, but not going to find anything. As a super awkward engagement from Toronto, just, I don't know, a bit undisciplined, I think. They're playing so far forward, and no one's interested in taking that fight at all, but you gotta recognize at some point that you simply can't play up there. ends up being the double damage rune that gets him caught out. I mean, it's understandable, but hard place to be without Night Stalker alive. Check, I'm gonna drop down the Aghanim Scepter. He dies to the Centaur. What? How much damage did he actually die to? Because they got the taser off. Oh, okay, he did get hit by the big Centaur. He did get hit by the big Centaur. A bit of misfortune there for Illinois, but Illinois at this point have certainly planted themselves into the driver's seat of this game. And they've been winning these fights with missed RPs from Milnil, with jumping into silence and not being able to get it off. Just showing that they have more than enough in the tank. JOJ working on a Hex as well. Now set up down bottom, Roshan. Gonna spawn in 13 seconds. Illinois gonna be in position to enter the pit straight away if they scout it out. Phantasm Illusions for Woos are scouting things down here as well, so both teams gonna be informed of what's going on. But Roshan has spawned, and looks like Illinois are gonna walk straight in. Third Roche here. Refresher Shard is available. Be interested to see whether this Refresher Shard ends up on the Wyvern or on Milnil. See double RP come out, but also potential for double Winter's Curse, which might be equally impactful. Meanwhile, University of Toronto, they know they're not going to be able to contest the Roche. They want to try and get some damage onto the tier 3, but already the support's TPing back to set up. Roshan going to go down. But inside of the base, the supports, they're getting jumped, so Gold Art Prog a little bit early in. Oh, that's a 900 damage crit from your support Hoodwink, by the way. They will lose the tier 3 tower, but the rest of the team for Illinois has TP'd back in. Exorcism starting to run out, about half duration. So the Toronto squad gonna be forced back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Illinois, without their Winter Wyvern, they don't want to overdo it. They know they've got Aegis, they can just reset. A tier 3 tower at this point, not super impactful. Does lose them a glyph, potentially, later on, but that's about all. Ooh, JOJ, not able to dodge off the silence there, but Chicken gonna be given over for free. This AMA player with the right-click damage coming through. He'll be working towards the Glepnir next. This is the more traditional item that Hoodwinks like to rush, is the excuse of control, but it's coming after the Daedalus Hurricane Pike and even an Ancient Guardian for AMA players, so full mode damage for Hoodwink. Still, we're gonna stay on Milnil watch because the Blink RP's gonna be coming out. And where did the Refresher Shard end up? Ended up on JOJ. Interesting. AMA player hunting, looking for less than 3, not actually going to connect with the Bushwhack, so will manage his way back to his tier 3 tower, and in the meantime, Toronto doing a good job cutting the bot wave. Unfortunately, creeps are available in the mid. So Illinois going to use that as their route in towards the base. Level 25 has come out for Lifestealer, and that extra rage duration gets from the talent going to be pretty helpful. Lots to avoid in terms of silences. JOJ down bottom, going to be forced to pop the BKB, but the Abyssal Blade going to come out. Still able to jump away, JOJ, and Toronto going to be able to back off as well. Hoodwink and Lifestealer together break the minimap. Apologies for that, I don't really know how to fix that. But the Infesta seems to break the minimap. Submit that one to Valve. Abyssal Blade delivered to Lifestealer. Inside of the Hoodwink. Again, University of Toronto being annoying and just sneaking into the base. This time they're going to grab a range Drax. Nil-nil again, looking for the angle, but the silence was there, so Not able to skewer back off the back of the harpoon. Have to look both ways. Milno this time gonna be jumped. Darkness dropped the Missile Blade as well. And he goes down 77 seconds on the deck, but he does have a buyback, but he's gonna use. Rest of the team kind of pinching in from mid, but far away. They're smoked up on the backside. Need to find more than just Sayum though, and Woos, he's a big one to find. The coil gonna be dropped down onto 2. Does get stunned on the backside, JOJ. Still looking for the damage. What are they going to find? Milno with the RP just onto Rubik. Trying to charge forward. Drag Sam in, but lose the bigger target. John looking for him, the Glimmer Cape. Invisibility. There's no detection here. He's able to get the blink away. And Woos, he's all the way out. Meanwhile, the chase down Chickum. Looks like he might get found. Maybe. There's no way he gets away from here, right? The Acorn shot not going to connect. Chickum falling low. He's inside of the small camp. Suicide to jump away. He's going to TP. Oh, and he does make it out. Remember, at the end of the day, that's your buyback from Milno. So, even though they still have the Aegis available for another minute, Illinois going to have to play pretty carefully. Magnus a big piece of your team fights, but he's just not been able to connect with his abilities this game, unfortunately, and it's been costing him. Meanwhile, University of Toronto showing that they know exactly how to play this type of position where they're just always able to have these side lanes shoved out, able to sneak into your base, they take the racks, and when they recognize that the TPs didn't come through into the base, they're able to just jump forward, find the kills. Still, JOJ has a lot of room to grow here. Aghanim Scepter most likely going to be on the menu. It's the build-up we've been seeing Pucks go for of late, the Dream Coil Rapid Fire. With the Charisma. It's a very strong combination, and with 2,800 gold in the inventory, figure it's only a matter of time before he picks it up. Ooh. Minefield sign, I guess, residually in the mid lane, so Milno just gonna wait it out. We'll see what's coming out on his courier. Vitality booster could be a couple of things, and we haven't clicked on him in a while, so looks like it is going to be the full Abyssal Blade. So that's a lot of Abyssals this game. One on him, one on Surges. There's one over on the Lifestealer as well. He's got a full Nullifier in his inventory too.
That should help.
Smoked up. Coming dangerously close to Woos, who actually blinks forward towards the wave. They're going to see that one. Again, maybe just giving a little bit too much respect there, as expecting the team to be behind him, but Woos just totally isolated by himself. About as far from his team as possible, actually. It's under cover of smoke, but it's going to pop on AMA player. Able to get the blink away, but the force forward, there's no stun to throw out, and again, a little bit too indecisive looking for the kill there. So we're approaching 50 minutes into the game, and it's a 1k net worth lead for Illinois. Feels like each team's had their moment where they felt truly in command, and now it's a toss-up. It could be anyone's game. JOJ has the BKB, so gonna be safe. Deciding not to use a TP, not cancelled in time. Super high-risk play. That was a high-risk, low-reward play. The not BKB TP there. Because if that got cancelled, things get a little bit dicey. Not that he's necessarily dead, but scary time. But for now, playing the waiting game. Gonna wait for Roche number 4, it seems, and could spawn in 45 seconds, so each team gonna start making their way to this bot half of the map where Roshan will be spawning this time around. Less than 3 working on that level 25, get the extra exorcism spirits. Could take the siphon replenish time as well. Might end up being more valuable, just always make sure you have 5 siphons in a fight in the mid. Nil and Chickum run into each other, but the Invis rune Means Chicken will be perfectly fine. Gonna have a Hex of his own soon. Gotta go check in on the Hoodwink, see what more damage is coming out, and Boots of Travel and Revenant's Brooch gonna be the idea. Hoodwink hitting for a pretty 375 damage. Misclick the GG by accident. Luckily, we're not playing in a league where that matters. I think in a situation like this, it never would matter, but fake GGing's been a contentious point across Dota in its history. We've seen different tournament admins, different TOs make some different judgment calls on whether a GG is close enough to real to be counted. I will say these players have more of an excuse for having that button on their chat wheel, but like, what? You don't need that button on your chat wheel, guys. Come on. Unbind it. Team's just gonna run into each other. This isn't a smoke play. Team's going to set up for Roshan, and Milner, he's gonna be jumped. A nice Winter's Curse trying to bail him out, and with the BKB, he's able to turn around, box the RP again, just onto one, but it's the Night Stalker. Would be a big kill if they're able to find it, but the stolen RP from Sam, able to find Milner on the backside. It's locking down JOJ, locking down John. They're falling low. Puck trying to jump away, but John not gonna be so lucky. Has to fight toe-to-toe. JOJ during the BKB, now feared up by the Spirit Siphon, and now he's in a lot of trouble. He's cold embrace, trying to save himself. JOJ, is he gonna be able to get out of this one? Caught by the Hex now from the Techies, and will go down. That's a 3-for-1 trade as Night Stalker, the only casualty for University of Toronto, is the ice finally going to be broken. Fights finally kicking off in this game. An AMA player trying to get away, but he'll just be the 4th casualty. Buyback immediately as AMA player knows that they're going to lose the base. Toronto, they don't want Roche. They want buybacks or they want the game. JOJ gonna buy back into this one as well. That's it. There's your 3 buybacks. No more able to be forced as Milnil is without for the time being. Did use it in that last fight. So only 1 buyback gonna be available. It's gonna be Goldar Frogs. Milner will have his for the next engagement. Oops, sorry about that. But into the Roche pit they go. This is Roche number 4 again. On the bot side, going to be another refresher shard, so no one getting blessed by the free Aghanims this game. Toronto, after forcing out 3 buybacks, going to be able to fall back to the Roche pit and take a free one. See who they decide to give the refresher to. DP, perhaps? Just going to be sitting on the ground. No one knows who to take, or what to take, I should say. Yeah, DP going to grab the refresher shard. Not too useful for now, but we'll have the Scythe of Ice completed shortly. Yeah, Techie's the only other hero with the Scythe, but don't really want to give the refresher shard over to Chicken. Much more impactful over on the DP. And they're going to run straight up towards the high ground. They know there's no buybacks available. So they want to start it off with the Exo again, and again, a little bit of a dangerous position to be put in. This time the Aegis is on the DP as the refresher for the second Exo if they want to go about it that way as well. And stay him with stolen illusory orb, able to blink up onto the high ground and jaunt away. The Exorcism down, past half duration. Still trying to just sit in range of the tower, get the spirits onto it, and whittle down the tier 3s. They're actually going to force out the glyph, and because the top set's already gone, there's no extra glyph to play with. So sure, they commit the Exorcism, but with the Refresher Shard in hand, it's not the highest commitment. And Toronto can look to slow siege this one with the Phantasms. This is a game where there's no Manta style on the Chaos Knight, but Phantasm would be up in 10 if he wants to send the illusions up the hill. Hex comes out. It's an extra Hex onto Rubik as well. They're going to find the Hex on the Hoodwink. But the drag back this time, Milnil did have the BKB. They're going to catch out the Nightstalker up on the top side. He's just dead. Surge's first one gone. Winter's Curse over on the side, just going to catch onto Rubik. But he's not going to be able to get away from this one. And that's the Refresher Shard used for another Exorcism. And that's just going to be used to run away. So 2 kills going Illinois' way. We're back to vibing. Age is still in hand for Death Prophet, but not going to want to fight without the Exo, and that's going to be a 120-second cooldown, so might just be hanging out for the next little while. You gotta love late game Dota when there's so many hexes across the board. So much shit going on that you have to watch out for. Yeah, Refresher Magnus as well. I think we've seen that one come out before. AMA player has another Daedalus queued up. I think at some point you might want to go consider like a BKB or something, you know, some defensive item. Even if you want to go this glass cannon route. Might be useful to have one defensive item. The AMA player wants to live on the edge, play like an Ember Spirit but without the escape. Oh, up top, this is a real fight going on, and Punk, JOJ just caught out. Bloodthorned up, taken down. Had the BKB as well, just didn't feel the need to commit it perhaps, or didn't feel it would help him escape. Even Chickum's got 5,000 gold on him right now. Late game Dota. Well, 58 minutes means just 2 minutes from now we'll be seeing the tier 5 items come out. It's been quite a while actually since I've cast a game with the tier 5 items. And it's always just chaos at that point. I mean, there's not really too much to be said. John, you gotta be a little bit careful here, buddy. No puck for 60, so Toronto, no, they want to press their advantage. They know there's no buyback, and the jump forward from Surges on the shield rune as well. Milnil thinking about getting the RP off, not going to drop it yet, now going to drop it. Just onto 1 though again, and he's just going to get bashed down. 90 seconds on the deck. Winter's Curse going to come down onto TP, but that's just the Aegis of the Immortal. That was the stolen RP, not going to connect onto anybody. And on the backside, Surges starting to get bashed into. The Nullifier going to purge off the F-Blade, trying to save. Lotus Orb on the Hex as well. Things going crazy. But for now, just going to focus on the buildings as University of Toronto. They claim the Mega Creeps in the meantime. 30 seconds until Puck spawns, and John needing to be careful as well. Surges going forward again, but John running away, trying to get back to the fountain. This time, Rage is going to run out. Caught. Now saved by the Winter's Curse, saved by the Cold Embrace, but getting bashed into and can't stand up to the damage at all. It's dead for 125 seconds, and that might just about do it. Puck in 10 seconds. They'll find the techies, but that's it. No more. And the Aegis under siege, getting whacked on 5 seconds till Puck, but they've thrown. It's in jeopardy. It's dying, and it's going to go down. Toronto, a little bit of fun on the end there, giving up on the push, but GG's. 59-50. Going to be the final time of your game. And just like that, the game ends. I mean, it ends up being one catch onto Puck is all that it takes to take the game from pretty stable to over. And that really is what 50-minute Dota means. That's pretty much how it goes, is one mistaken kill or one mistaken piece of positioning. And he's got to be kicking himself now for not using the BKB there. I'm certain there was time to get it off. The positioning just looked a little bit funky. Didn't even know there was anything going on until he's, 3/4 of the way dead, and all of a sudden, fuck no buyback, 125. Here we were thinking we were going to get tier 5 items, 60-minute game, drag on longer and longer. Pretty abrupt end to that one, and somehow Toronto Benchwarmers having some of the longer games that we might see this entire season. we hop back into the lobby. It looks like players might be gearing up to go straight away. See if we're gonna take a little break or not. I know I could use one, but if we're game, we're game, so... 1 minute, please. Alright, I will throw you guys to break for just 1 minute, apparently. Better call it 2, and maybe we miss the first couple of years in the draft. See you guys in a few. Alright, hello, me again. Hi, just poking in to say that we're gonna have a little bit more of an extended break than was originally anticipated in the lobby, so we'll see in more like 15 minutes, so if you're still here, definitely walk away from your screen. Go outside, touch some grass. We all need it. See you back in 15, guys. God. Sorry, my hotkeys are a little bit funky. Last time I'll see you. See you next time.
For you. I walk miles to get to you, babe. I don't know why I can't see you there. I try to move on, but every day I'm harder. I don't mind being right, even when we got it wrong. I kinda like making it up as we go. And ever since the second grade when you first caught my eye, I knew you were different in all the ways I like. I won't hide that I'm right, even when we got it wrong. But why you keep playing without the same man? This sort of little light, the common ground is shaking in your eye. If you could believe me, let's jump in the deep end. We'll jump in the deep end, yeah. I said, hey, we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. You and I feel right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of the differences aside, 'cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. Opposite sides, and that's what makes it right. Oh, every time that you think it's gone too far, we come a long way, and I know that it's only just begun. 'Cause if you think that loving someone else could ease your mind, let me just remind you, dear, of all the hills we've climbed, and I don't mind being right, even when we get it wrong. No. And I said, hey, we don't need to leave all the differences aside. You and I feel right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of the differences aside, 'cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. Opposite sides, and that's what makes it right. That's what makes it right. That's what makes it right.
It's almost like falling in love for the first time, all over again. Hold on tight to the feeling, but it's a roller coaster in my head. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. Or nothing at all. Hold these doubts like they're playing cards, close to my chest. Turn them round for the river and hope it's something that I won't regret. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing.
Alright, we are back a few minutes early for you. Weren't actually able to hold the lobby in such a long wait, I believe, was the call down. So we're into the draft, just a couple picks through. Toronto actually first picking the Bat Rider, and IE go ahead and pick themselves up Lion and Dragon Knight. Take my customary 3 seconds to point out that their banners are both quite sad. Go check out my banner making tutorial. Should probably link that onto the Twitch, but yeah, go and check out the banner making tutorial that I've made over on it's on my YouTube actually. I believe the YouTube is linked on my Twitch somewhere.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Anyway, I said it in the last series, I believe, but there is the Dotabot bot enabled for these games. So if you do want to use the Dotabot commands, feel free. I don't have an overlay, nor am I planning on getting one where you can actually check on stats yourself. But
10 seconds remaining.
I'm not entirely sure, actually,
5 seconds
how it
remaining.
works with the delay. So maybe don't use any of the spoiler things. At some point, I will make sure to test out the spoiler commands and disable them if they are a thing.
10 seconds remaining.
For the most part, the bot isn't useful, but you can do like there's a command that shows the ranks of the people in game. There's a command that shows the average MMR of the game. Yeah, exclamation average. Might break for Immortals. I don't actually remember. I don't use this bot a ton. I have it for if I ever do pubs myself. But anyway, enough of that. We've gotten far enough in the draft where I can talk about things. I really, really don't like doing solo drafts analysis because I have found that I get so much on a one-track mind that, you know, a lot of my commentary becomes not as insightful as I would want it to be for doing draft analysis. But Toronto, go ahead and pick up a Terror Blade here, which is kind of interesting to me considering they see the Lina, so they should see the mid matchup here. It's not like you're going to pick Lina DK and then go for a third mid laner. Could be a Lina safe lane, could be Lina safe DK off. I very much highly doubt that.
Dire team back.
But Toronto going for an interesting setup with the Mirana Sand King. These are heroes that definitely are not prominently featured in Dota nowadays. And the Bat Rider, we've been seeing a lot out of the position 5 role as well. So presumably that's going to be where this Bat Rider's headed, especially picked up in that first slot. And then IE with overall last pick have a pretty flexible draft and some very, very solid heroes as well. Dream Protector, Lion, both top tier at their respective roles, the 5 and the 4.
Team pick. Queen.
Yeah, Toronto, go ahead and pick up the Queen of Pain. Hero that matches up just fine into the Lina. You're able to get in the daggers and later on push out with the Scream.
10 seconds remaining.
I still think Lina probably holds a slight edge in that lane, though.
5
The early
seconds
nukes
remaining.
and you do slightly outrange the co-op, so even though you do have the dagger slow coming out on co-op, I think you are slightly behind, but Lina is a very strong mid matchup into most heroes, so not going to be a lane that you complain too much about having. And IE decide which way they want to go here. They could pick up a carry to match up well into the Terrorblade, see what's left available. First thing that comes to my mind is something like a Troll. Could go the Axes build with the Aghanims, purge off the Reflection. I mean, it's not amazing. Oh, and they're going to go for the puck, so safe lane Lina, and they are going to toss the puck into the mid. Interesting. Oh, and we're seeing some role switch ups as well. So I guess we'll have to see a little bit where everyone shakes out, but John going to be handling the Treant Protector. That one's definitely not the carry, so John going to be moving from 1 to 5, staying in that safe lane, and then most likely going to be AMA player taking the Lina position 1, Milnil in the off lane on the Dragon Knight, and JOJ back on his mid puck. Over on the other side, things are much more as they should be. Chickham taking the 5 Bat Rider, and then Surges on the Sand King. Going to be laning with Sayum, Woos on the Terrorblade, and then Queen of Pain going to be brought to the mid lane. So, of course, game number 1 taken by University of Toronto in 59 minutes and 50 seconds. One thing missing from this lobby is the prior game indicator, but we'll take what we can get. I don't think everyone here has as bad a short-term memory as I do when I'm casting, so you guys should be just fine in remembering who just won the game that we watched. Oh, I didn't change the stream title. No one told me to change the stream title. Come on, guys. I'm blaming everyone else but me. It's just like I'm playing a game of Dota.
Prepare for battle.
I mean, come on. Just like I'm playing, I blame my team. You all count as my team, right? Toronto versus Illinois. Change the title just in time for maybe a little bit of a skirmish to break out. Both teams going to smoke up into each other. Chickham actually going to miss with the blood grenade. And some awkward stuff going on. The 2-man stun from Lion, but it looks like AMA player going to be the first one to go down. Chickham quick to follow. The Terrorblade popped the Metamorphosis and in a lot of trouble himself as he's going to go down. Ends up being a double kill for Queen and a double kill for Treant Protector. And things might not be done here as less than 3 has taken the Scream of Pain, so not going to be able to jump away here. Taking some damage, gets punched down by Milnil as the Burrow Strike comes through. So far a 3-for-3 trade. JOJ with the orb going to be able to get away from this one, and Milnil not going to go any further. Has Dragon Tail available, and dancing around, going to get the punch off Dragon Tail as well. But the Burrow Strike into the arrow combo, and Milnil waited a little bit too long to try and get aggressive there, and might just pay with his life as well. Has a pretty big wand hiding behind the trees, but will eventually go down. Trying to give it over to Woos, but not going to happen. So, you want a little bit of excitement to start off the game? Well, 4-3. Just after the horn sounds and before the creeps meet in the mid lane. And by the way, there's still a bounty rune showing up in the top half. So mid laner's going to be pretty early to their bottles, both of them. As just a quick peek over at the net worth shows some rich heroes either side of the river. And Terrorblade going to end up being one of the big losers, actually, as Metamorphosis is going to be on cooldown for another minute. So not going to have it in the early lane here as he's going. Oh, up in the top, Sand King gets run down. John on the Treant Protector finds the kill, combines with AMA player, most likely had a LSA in the mix there, and Sam has arrow, and they know this. He's gotten himself into a little bit of a pickle here. Gonna be an LSA landing over the top, and there's so many creeps hitting into him. The tip's gonna come through, and a bit rightly so.
Radiant's top tower.
Oh, Sand King TP'd out here, didn't he? Yeah, TP on cooldown, so he's gonna lose a lot of this wave. Super unfortunate there. As now Toronto maybe falling a little bit more significantly behind than you'd expect off the back of those early kills. Meta comes up just in time for Wu's level 2, gets the reflection off. Milno starting to fall low, Chickum trying to run him down, but not able to get on top of him with the Firefly. Milno does escape back to his tower. So a funky start to this one, but 4 to 5, and now we're gonna start to pretend that things are normal in this game once again. It does just make me laugh how that fight played out pre-game. It was one kill after another, and it was like cascading down. So it's 1 to 0, then 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 2. Jay doing a very nice job. He's warmed up on the puck now. Dodging every spell less than 3 puts out onto him. Gets out of the tower range. Has to be careful here. Playing with the Fairy Fire. Both of them gonna walk away and collect the water runes, and they'll be back up to near full HP at the end of that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So an impressive looking engagement, but ultimately no kill out in the mid. See the 1-1-1 build come out of DK in the offlane. Up top, AMA player falling low and taken down by Surges. Burrow strike forward into the arrow. Always a combo that you gotta watch out for. And John, even with the Leech Seed, not enough heal comes through to protect his carry. Underneath the tower, taking a lot of damage here. Wu's on the Terrorblade. High armor hero, and underneath the tower, he's got 15 armor. So that making the difference between life and death. He's able to tank up the entire creep wave.
It's all about time.
But Milnil now starting to cut the wave, make things awkward for Wu's to farm under tower. Terrorblade, one of the heroes that's decently happy to do it, though. Gold Art Frog. Caught out, gonna try and TP home. Will make it, actually TP'd back to the tower. Very close there. Just take another peek in on this mid lane matchup. Just about dead even, 21 for 2 versus 20 for 2. With the lane pushing into less than 3, he'll end up with about a 1 or 2 CS advantage here. It's perfect underneath the tower. No pressure. Sam. It's actually his last leap charge to get down there. And meanwhile, down bottom, with that level 2, no, level 1 meta still. But with the next round of the Metamorphosis, Toronto able to find another kill on the spot side. So AMA player, what's the build up here? Looks like Phase Boots coming out. Oh no, sorry, Falcon Blade. That makes a lot more sense. I was gonna say. I'm not up to date on my carry Lina, even though it is a pretty fun hero to play, and back when people were skipping Dragon Slave levels for stats, I did try it out a couple of times, but I never played it too seriously, so don't remember the ins and outs, but Falcon Blade, definitely the item that you want. 6-minute rune gonna spawn, and Sam, ooh, makes the rotation, actually takes the haste rune. That's one that would prefer to leave for your own mid, but worried about JOJ potentially coming downhill with the Dream Coil, so
Radiant's courier
snaps it
has
up
been
before
killed.
any serious problems can happen. Level 6 now, JOJ with the Dream Coil, gonna pop it immediately on the mid. Has the silence available, another Illy Orb, but the raindrops have come through. Less than 3, able to get back underneath the tower with 50 HP. That was the last charge on the raindrops for less than 3 as well. See if he decides to bring another one out, or if that will be the one and done. If he decides to sit in this lane for any longer, would like to see him bring in other raindrops. Super valuable. Continue to sit against Puck. Up top, Surges. 3 points in the Sandstorm means he's going to be pretty uncontestable the rest of this lane, so gonna just continue to trade farm up here. See how he decides to play this, if he wants to go for something like a Vanguard or work into an early Blink Dagger. But Chicken through the portal.
Beware of
Actually spotted out by John there, and the tower gets a shot off, so Illinois gonna be totally aware of this play. So they did have the Observer ward up here as well. Not sure if that was placed just before or just after. And Gold Art Frog in through the portal as well. Chickum is level 5, but not going to be able to get the Firefly off. Has the Lotus to work with if he wants to pop it, and will do so to get the Firefly, but with the ward, AMA player able to start to turn and hit into these heroes, but Surge is now going to find the Burrow Strike over onto 2 with the level 3 Sandstorm, and less than 3 finally in on the rotation, going to claim the double kill. JOJ in to get 1 in return, but that's 3 heroes dead on the top side. On the side of Illinois.
dire structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So ends up being a nice rotation from Chickum, even though kinda knew he was coming. And Milnil, with that level 6, wanted to get some pressure onto the tower, but Surges respawns TPs to the bot. And Woo's gonna find the kill, so Toronto continuing to collect kills across the board. Sorry, I think I said respawns. He didn't respawn, but he did TP down there. Meanwhile, a big return kill. Less than 3 just getting caught out by the coil. Now Surges in on the Moonlight Shadow, came through the portal. They saw it happen on top of the ward. JOJ thinking about going forward again. Level 3 Sandstorm, hard to dive through, but Surges has to just run away. Can't continue to live in that Sandstorm for fear of getting killed. And with 4 heroes up here, JOJ's sticking around. They want to put pressure onto this tower, and looks like they'll have it too. This AMA player does lose those Fiery Soul stacks, but it's more than enough pressure up here. It's Nil-Nil. Chickum has the lasso. Jump away, but the arrow not going to be able to connect because the creep wave's in the way. Has to hold it for now, and Nil-Nil still dragged back to the Terror Blade, trying to do as much damage as he can to Woos, but does go down in the end. Meanwhile, the tier 1 top was collected. JOJ TP's in, and again, a nice job to dodge out the dagger. I haven't seen him get clipped by a single one of those this game, but the Invis rune snatched away. Right in front of his face.
Money changes hands.
So 11-7, but super even game through the laning stage. This game keeping its high tempo that started off with a 4 for 3 around the bounty runes. Ended up going Toronto's favor. Chickum just continuing to be annoying, pushing Milnil away from the creeps, away from even the XP range in some instances.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And maybe thinking about putting some pressure on the tower here, Toronto. They'll have Metamorphosis coming up in 5 seconds.
Radiant are scanning.
Lasso as well will be available, so...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Check, I'm looking to play on the edge here. Still a hard jump to find, and John and Gold Art Frog both sitting behind, but it's level 4 on Lion. He's been struggling for XP, and he's not going to find more anytime soon. And for now, it looks like things will calm down as AMA player Maelstrom complete. See if he does put any points into stats. Looks like there is one, so going the old build. I thought this had fallen out of favor nowadays, but then again, we don't see the carry Lina at least super often. Stun out onto Chicken. The Sentry Ward was dropped, but the Firefly gonna get him out of trouble. X on the back, and Sam found himself in deep with a blink forward from Surges. Picked that one up fresh and able to get involved on the bot half. Oh, Mirana is in the way! JOJ just blocking the path up. They couldn't see him TPing away. So gets out back to his fountain super low. With this space less than 3, wants to go ahead and put pressure on the mid tower. TP coming in from Lion, but can't find the angle for the coil. Less than 3 Sonic Wave is ready, so see if he decides to go somewhere with this. For now, all is calm.
Money to burn.
You always have to appreciate these moments of calm in Nace games, because it feels like we go 0 to 100 and then kind of never turn it back. So for just a moment, we can breathe.
Top tower is under attack.
It looks like the powder keg is being built down bottom. Surge is pushing up the lane, but 5 heroes chilling around here. Smoke gonna come through. It's a 2-man smoke for Toronto. Sam and Surges.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Milnil pushing up towards the tower, and the smoke gonna wrap around behind him with Quap rotating in. Surge is gonna feel comfortable going on this one. They're gonna set up the arrow play as well. Support's backed off for the Wisdom Rune. Gold Art Frog needed that one as he's still just level 5. It's 14 minutes and feeling very XP starved on the Lion. He'll finish off his 6 in the mid.
Dire's middle tower is under
JOJ. Rotation up towards top, but it's Lina gonna be caught first, farming behind the tier 1 tower top. Surges another kill with that blink, up to a killing spree here. JOJ trying to put damage on, has the amplified damage rune activated from the bottle, but not able to go forward for any more. Moonlight Shadow just comes out, and Gold Art Frog has hit the level 6, so Finger of Death is available. The Sonic Wave, it's going to whiff on JOJ, and lots of damage underneath the tower. The Overgrowth from John flips onto 3. And even Woos is in here now, as all hell breaks loose in the top lane. Puck did end up going down at the end, and John, he'll be run down underneath the tower as Terrorblade more than happy to be the cleanup crew. Oh, ended up getting cut down by the arrow jaunting to the orb. I wish I could go back and replay that one. Just saw him orb away and didn't realize that that's how he went down straight after.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So Sam focusing on what he needed to in the back end of that fight. Because if JOJ gets out there, it's a pretty significant kill. Able to take down the enemy mid laner as well with the Overgrowth.
Can't win a war without money.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Nil-nil. Midas available and ready. JOJ. Silence forward orb as well, and yeah, just gonna get run up lassoed, and another arrow hits from Sam. Takes him down, so JOJ just very ambitious there, playing without the blink dagger. So he used up all of his mobility to get onto that creep wave. Milno continues to play aggressively in this bot lane, and could be punished yet again. Surge is going to try. They're going to connect on the arrow on the backside as well. Going to think about channeling up the epicenter. Actually decided not to, and could cost him as Milno tanky with the Dragon's Blood. Going to go forward with the next Burrow Strike, but stunned up Lions here. Goldart Frog trying to hold him back, but Milno eventually the magic damage does come through, and oh, that's just going to end up baiting Goldart Frog a bit too far forward. Killed off inside of the AoE. Up top, another kill. AMA player just alone underneath that top tier 2. Thought he was safe up there. Could farm up the camps, but nope. He's continuing to find his farm, but this gang squad, this 2-man gang squad, Surges and Sam, continuing to play from ahead and be a nuisance to anyone who shows bottom.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
22-9, and where's this game gone? It really slipped away from Illinois. Now 17 minutes in, and 9,000 gold lead for the University of Toronto Benchwarmers.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower
Milno finally able to take down this tier 1 in the bot.
has fallen.
It's 5 deaths to his name. He's just banging his head against the wall until he was able to take down this tower. Really starting to fall behind, and AMA player staying competitively farmed, but just a couple of extra deaths, and game feels much harder for her to play. We'll be working towards the Gleb here. It's going to be a strong timing against the Terrorblade, but need to find these kills. But the 2-man Burrow Strike, it's going to catch the mid and the carry. Puck in a lot of trouble. Orchid comes out as well, and ticking down. Maybe not going to be enough damage. No, it will be to clean her up, and AMA player goes down as well. Just not able to hit into anybody. Rest of the team left in shambles. Less than 3. Jump forward, but now falling low. Going to be able to find the jump away, but the Leech Seed and the Dragon Burn. Just enough HP to survive, and going to use that bottle to refill up. Ends up being a 3-for-1 as Chicken goes down, but win the fight handily off the back of that one. Maybe another kill here as John just wanted to walk up and put some chips, but Sam gets the D-ward and finds another something extra for his troubles.
They did not respect the buybacks once again.
Gotta love Lyrical. Underneath the Moonlight Shadow. Toronto, they want to set up for the gank. JOJ would be the big kill, but not an easy one for them to get. They do have the lasso. Blink Dagger freshly picked up from Chicken as well. Into the arrow, yeah, and that's an easy kill. Woos ends up getting it during that metamorphosis. An AMA player trying to fight back now. The Sunder actually doesn't change the HP at all, and will pay with his life. Woos, AMA player trying to run away with the Sandstorm. It's there in time, and Shiva's holding everybody inside of it. Goldart Frog trying with the suck on the side, but the Sandstorm eventually headed his way, and Goldart Frog falling low. Sam looking for the right clicks, does find him. Surge's still going to get his way away, and that's 4 heroes dead. Milno, the only one left alive, and Chicken, well, he's not done looking for the kill. He's got the Firefly over the top. Not going to be able to find him. Sam, level 14, by the way, on this Mirana. Milno just level 11. He has a Midas on Dragon Knight, level 11. Level 14 on Mirana. It's crazy. That's not really what I wanted. And this is not the chart that you want to see. Scream of Bane in the mid, and JOJ gonna go down as well. Toronto, after winning game 1 in extended fashion, are looking to close this one out quickly. 21 minutes in, 13k net worth lead. Already up 1-0 in the series, and maybe they've realized it's getting a little bit late. They don't want to be up all night.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 2 in the mid will go down.
Has fallen.
And things probably going to get worse before they get better. It's less than 3. Now going to start to work towards that BKB. I suppose there's a period where the defensive items haven't come through yet for the University of Toronto side.
Easy shot.
But if they are able to reach those, it's extremely difficult. And Milnil going straight for the Aghanim Scepter, so no Manta and no Mage Slayer. I think these really are a miss. Does fine with the blink, less than 3, but able to blink away himself. Overgrowth wasn't there in range, and JOJ still working on that blink dagger, just not able to find the farm, so not able to connect without that one. Again, we've seen him do this a lot of times. Oh, he's going to get clipped by the arrow. But yeah, using all of his mobility on the creep wave, kind of out of order, using the Illu Orb forward and putting himself out of position. And Stayham's just been absolutely insane with the arrows this game. Mage Slayer and Orchid up on the Mirana here.
Dire are scanning.
AMA player actually went back for the Boots of Travel as well, so the Gluttony are going to be a little bit further away. Still not out of reach, but delaying one of the key items like that, definitely pretty hard. And yeah, clicking around, they definitely don't have a Mage Slayer on anyone, so... Lots of magic damage coming through from Toronto side as well, so it wouldn't be a bad pickup at all, even if it wasn't the best item. Or perhaps just an oversight from Illinois. Roshan going to be taken from University of Toronto. It's going to be a freebie. Going to give the Aegis over to less than 3 as well, so Terrorblade. Recognizing that with the Scotty, he's pretty hard to bring down, but more likely than not. Also recognizing that he might be off farming while the rest of his team finds engagements. Let's see what the item status looks like. Milnil, 1,000 gold away from the Ags, but awkwardly, the Ags only upgrades your dragon. So you get the blue dragon at level 14. Like, if he gets at level 14, 15, you get the blue dragon instead of the black dragon.
Radiant are scanning.
So you don't get the same benefits getting it this early, and that's another reason why people generally go for this Mage Slayer Manta before you get into the Ags. And Toronto, straight away up on the high ground, they're going to blink forward, they find the Dragonite with the lasso, dragged into the area, he'll be taken down the epicenter as well. KOJ wanted in with the Dream Coil, but just jumps into his death. It's a quick buyback from DK as well, but not going to have the Dragon Form to work with, and the Sonic Wave pushes AMA player forward, pushes him into the Sandstorm, and he'll just go down. Sunder able to get it off on Woos, and this game all but over as Goldar Frog going to go down as well, make it a 5-0. And GG going to be called. So 25 minutes, IE going to go down, and that's going to be a 2-0 series for the Toronto Benchwarmers. Bringing that average match time down, they don't want to be known as the team that takes the longest to win their games. After playing a 70-minute game week 1, after playing a 59-minute game this week 2, able to close it out in style, just sub 25 minutes. That's going to be the end of our series tonight. Had a nice back-to-back for the first time in the season, and Toronto doing a good job winning both games here in... Well, I was going to say in convincing fashion, but Game 1 really wasn't. Game 1 was a very back-and-forth affair, so... Unfortunately for Illinois, just breaking down a little bit into this game too, but still a nice series from them. It's going to put them down 0-2 in series overall standings, and University of Toronto Benchwarmers up to 2-0. The West Coast representatives of the University of Toronto looking good this early part of the season. Fortunately, we didn't get to watch their first game, but we'll be keeping my eye on them going forward, as when Toronto split, wasn't really sure what to think of what their season was going to look like, what their series were going to look like, and what their players were going to look like. But taking Chikarinahim, whatever he's going to go by, definitely a boon to any team. And yeah, able to win this series pretty nice. I think this game 2 is going to be one that they'll take a lot of positive things going out of. And game 1 will give them a lot of learnable moments about, not forcing the high ground and playing as a team, but also a lot of nice things they did game 1 and not giving up once they started to throw. They came back from a couple of tilting fights, and I think they can take a lot away from both of these games in very different ways, which is good for a team to grow and develop over time. So looks like we are going to be done for the night. See if anyone stuck around, but it looks like the lobby chat has broken down. So see about setting up some post-game interviews another time, another place, and another time. Sometime that I can set it up more than 30 seconds in advance after the match is over, I think. So thank you everybody for joining tonight. We had a fun couple of series. Unfortunately, both of them only went to 2 games. Bring us a 3-game series in the best of 3s. You got the time. But tomorrow we're going to be off, actually. So once more, don't have a schedule officially made, as things were very much in flux. Even going into today, was planning on doing the Georgia Tech series, but they ended up rescheduling at the last minute. So let me just go ahead and pull up the game calendar. So we should have tomorrow off. Tomorrow, Thursday the 15th, Friday the 16th. Is there any games Friday? Looks like we have Friday off as well, actually. And we're not, in fact, missing any games this week. So we haven't yet missed one. We covered all the games that were held today. So Thursday, Friday, no games. Saturday, I think we're setting up for a triple header Saturday, which will be very, very fun. And then, yeah, a match or 2 on Sunday. Match on Sunday. Yeah, triple header on Saturday and a match on Sunday. And we'll work from there. So Saturday, 5 p.m. is going to be the first series. So going to plan on this. UCLA versus Michigan, 5 p.m. on Saturday. As soon as that one finishes, actually, we'll go ahead and start from the beginning of the Georgia Tech series. And that one starts at 6 p.m., but most likely be handling that sometime in the 7 to 8 window. And then there is one last reschedule coming through for 10 p.m. Eastern. So let's do this. Let's do 5 p.m. Let's do 7:30, or as soon as the UCLA Michigan series is over, and then 10 o'clock. So 2.5 hours a series. And if they run over, they run over. We'll be doing the Georgia Tech versus Indiana off the replay, UCLA versus Michigan live, and then UBC versus Cal Poly Pomona live as well. Sound good? I think that sounds good. I think that's a good deal. So we're off for the next couple of days, but do make sure you tune in sometime Saturday from 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll be going until we finish the matches, most likely sometime around midnight. So gonna have a lot of games to watch. Make sure you come and check those out. And then Sunday, figure out when those games are happening sometime between now and Saturday. So thank you again, everybody, for sticking around. We saw a couple of great series today. So if you want to check those out, the VOD will be published as well. So if you want to check out the previous series, go ahead and make sure you do that. Thanks again, and we will see you on Saturday for more games. Bye-bye.